Good morning.
Buenos días.
We're going to start off with our devotional this morning.
Vamos a empezar con el devocional de la mañana.
Drew and Juan will lead us in some songs.
Drew y Juan va a dirigirnos en los cantos.
I'll give the devotional this morning.
Makes me whole, saves my soul, washes whiter than snow. Te vengo a decir, oh mi Salvador, que yo te amo a ti, que yo te amo a ti con el corazón. Dios en Cristo revelando su eternal y santo amor.
At the right moment,
En el momento correcto,
because of the right situation,
por la situación correcta,
words like this can absolutely change your life.
palabras como esas pueden absolutamente cambiar tu vida.
And I want to suggest to you this morning that there's one set of words that will be the most important set of words in our entire existence.
Y quiero sugerir esta mañana que hay unas palabras que son las palabras más importantes de toda nuestra existencia.
Words not spoken by a parent,
Palabras no dicho por padres
or a spouse, or a friend,
o por esposas ni por amigos,
but by God Himself.
sino dicho por Dios mismo.
We find it in Matthew chapter 25, verse 11.
En Mateo 25, versículo 11.
Those words are, well done, good and faithful servant. The goal for this morning is to get the clinic 100% set up. The things that we got to do today are to make sure that all of the medicine is labeled correctly. We have a pharmacist who's going to oversee all of that, and she does a fantastic job every single year. We want to get the clinic open so that we can see the local church first. We do that for two reasons. One, we want to show them that preference. We want to show them that love first and foremost. The second reason we do it is it also is a kind of a test of our system. If we've got things set in the right places and if the flow is what we need it to be. So that is why we try to always see our local brethren first. Because of the election, again, that's going to be a common theme until tomorrow. Because of the election, we've got several of our Peruvian brethren that aren't going to come in until at least noon today, perhaps even, later, and then through hopefully we'll have everybody here by first thing in the morning. And so what that means is we don't really have enough translators. We certainly are definitely going to need to hold off on some things because of our translators. And since we're seeing just our church family here, and we don't want to go out into the community on a day like today, evangelism team is going to stick close within a block of the church. We found out this morning that actually one of the candidates for president here that is in the runoff is from Waral, and he has to vote in his district. So he's here today. So that's part of the reason why we feel like we need to keep our circle a little tight today, more so than we would ever normally do. When things are out of the ordinary, when things are not in a normal situation, it's just best to kind of circle the wagons, make sure everything goes fine, and then once things get back to normal, then we can resume our normal activities. So that's the plan for today. Is we're going to get the clinic set up. We're going to get medicines all labeled, and we're going to see our local brethren. We'll have a evening worship tonight with the church at 4 p.m. So that's going to be a really, really good day today, and we're really excited about finally kind of getting the wheels on this bus going round and round. Well, it turns out there's just some things you can't avoid. Apparently we still have some labels that we need to get printed, but I'm still thankful that it's not every single label that we have to have for the entire campaign. So if you've been following along, you know that one of our missions was we got labels pre-printed this week. We still have a few that we need to print, and I kind of assumed we would. Well, after a long wait, the time has finally come for us to open the clinic. So we've registered our first couple of members of the church here. So like we said before, we're kind of testing the line, but we also want to give them preferential treatment. And so not only just the members of the church here, but also members of our team that are Peruvian that want to be seen, they are welcome to pass through the line as well. So here they are. We've already kind of started. Our registration ladies are here, and then from there they go to the nurses' stations. And then and then in the back, behind there is the doctors. So from there, they will go inside to the pharmacy and they'll be seen. One of the disadvantages of today is that we don't have our dentist, nor do we have our physical therapist. They are both Peruvians, they are both voting today. So we don't want to leave our brethren out of those very necessary specialties. So we are gonna make sure that anybody that needs those services can come back tomorrow so that they can get the care that they need. So we're gonna give them a ticket to where they can come back tomorrow, and we will advance them in the line ahead of everyone else. The pharmacist will get these tickets, and so if it's noted on their registration sheet that they need to see the dentist or the pharmacist or the physical therapist, they'll get one of these. So I mentioned a few days ago about Greg having a contact back in the States who had gotten some projectors for free from a school district where he was doing some work for them and changing out their equipment, and they allowed him to do whatever he pleased with the old ones. Well, one of the things he pleased to do was to bring one down here for the church in Waral. So we've got Jens hooked up with the new projector and a mount for the ceiling so that they'll be able to project their songs, sermon outlines, whatever they would need to do. So pretty exciting times.
Thank you very much.
So the first sign of this whole election situation starting to come to an end is we're starting to see some of our Peruvian brethren come in. Here we have Manuel Bueno, who is already in a Bible study. He hadn't been here more than 10 minutes. And it wouldn't surprise me if we're getting ready to start baptizing some people.
También porque hemos estudiado con nuestro hermano Segundo y su esposa Vilma por varios meses, pero él ha estado asistiendo a esta congregación y ha oído la verdad del Evangelio y ha decidido obedecer.
Vamos a hacer la confesión de su fe a Segundo Riofrio. Riofrio Ordinola. Segundo Riofrio Ordinola, ¿tú crees que Jesús es el Hijo de Dios?
So I want to give a little background story on Segundo, who was just baptized. In December, I came to Waral to start with the preparations for the campaign. but also our local congregation just picked up the support for the church here in Wadal. And so I brought along with me one of the elders. He happens to be my father-in-law. And we went to go visit one of the ladies who had been baptized last year in the campaign. And when we did, we arrived and we talked with her for a little bit. And she said, you know, we're so glad that you came to visit us. Thank you. And she had some questions and we talked for a little bit. And she says, I've got a neighbor who y'all really need to talk to. And we said, okay. And she started to tell us the story of some tragedy that had struck their family. And when I say tragedy, I don't want to go into specific details, but legitimate tragedy that less than a month earlier had happened in this family. And so we went in, tried to talk to them and give them some comfort and let them know that, hey, that this is what the church is for. This is why the church exists, is for times like this, so that you don't have to be alone, so that we don't have to go through this difficult life doing it ourselves on our own. And now, 6 months later, 7 months later, Segundo is our brother in Christ. We're looking forward to hopefully converting his wife. So hopefully all that will happen soon, but keep Segundo and his family in your prayers. They are still dealing with some of the tragedy that has struck them. Give them, as much attention in your prayers as you can. They really could use it. So I'm really hoping that this will be the last time I mention the election, but after the election, our cooks didn't arrive until like 8:45, and it is now 6:08. There are approximately 120, 130 people here, hungry, ready to eat. And in that time, I gotta tell you, we got the best cooks there are, because it is 6:09 and we've got people getting their food, an excellent spaghetti dinner here. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, right? That's an impressive turnaround time for our cooks. And wow, I've always been impressed with them, but this was next level.